of the United States, Donald Trump has approved attack plans for Iran, but he has withheld the final order. This is according to a report from the Wall Street Journal released 60 seconds ago, because I am Chris Valenti and I have the best chat in the world. However, my chair has a hydraulic leak, so it makes me look tiny. We have a lot to cover today, folks. Tucker Carlson grilled Ted Cruz because Ted Cruz last night admitted that we are already bombing Iran. Ted Cruz also... Oh, by the way, Ted Cruz's name is Raphael Edward Cruz, and he was born in Calgary, Canada. Do with that information what you will, but Ted Cruz is a Canadian named Raphael. Ran for president, by the way. We also have, I think, live... are the fucking missiles coming into Tel Aviv right now? They were hitting a second ago. I got live footage of Tel Aviv. The missiles are coming in. The fucking alarms are ringing. Trump did a fucking interview in the golf course, I think, or not in the golf course, where he goes, I may bomb Iran, I may not do it, I don't know. And then he said in this other interview, that he goes, I don't like to plan, I like to make decisions in the last possible second, and that's what I'm gonna do. So, lot to talk about. I'm Chris Valenti. I'm a douchebag from New York. I majored in history. I minored in political science. There's nothing I hate more than fascists. Thank you so much for 70,000 subs. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you want to support the channel financially, because this is real independent media and I have no funding. A couple of ways you could do it are buying merch, using the discount code for Ground News in the description below, becoming a member for $5, and becoming a patron for $5. Thank you to everybody who supports the channel. Love you very much. Without further ado, let's dive in. So, first things first, let's fucking read this article. Trump privately approved attack plans for Iran, but has withheld final order. The conflict between Iran and Israel continues in the Middle East. President Trump is considering multiple options, including a U.S. strike on Iran.
Here and abroad, who are not only concerned about the U.S. potentially getting involved in another conflict in the Middle East, but worry about the potential for retaliation here at home.
Yeah, well, I don't want to get involved either, but I've been saying for 20 years, maybe longer, that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon.
You know what my dad used to say about the word but? Forget everything they said before it. And he just said, I don't want to get involved either, but. So forget I don't want to get involved. We're getting involved.
Saying it for a long time. And I think they were a few weeks away from having one. And they had to sign a document. I think they wish they signed it now. It was a fair deal. And now it's a harder thing to sign, you know. It's a lot of water over the dam. But, you know, it's very, I say it very simply. Iran can't have a nuclear weapon. Too much devastation. And they...
Real quick, chat, and answer this in the comments below. Who can have a nuclear weapon? Because my belief is nobody. I don't think any nation on Earth should have a weapon that is capable of killing tens of millions of people in a fucking millisecond. Specifically not a goddamn ethno-state like fucking Israel, who, by the way, if you look up, does Israel have nukes? You're never gonna believe this, bro. Hey, real quick, does Israel have nukes? Answer that question. The answer is yes. Here's what happens when you look it up. Yes, Israel is widely believed to possess nuclear weapons, though it maintains a policy of ambiguity, neither confirming nor denying their existence. Estimates say that they have between 80 and 400 fucking warheads, and they are not signatory to the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, which I was a delegate at the United Nations a few months ago. And now that I'm thinking about it, they're right. The Israelis didn't have a fucking panel there. Almost every other fucking nation had a goddamn panel there. God.
Use it. You know, I believe they'd use it. Others won't use it, but I believe they'd use it. So that's it. It's very simple as far as I'm concerned. They can't have a nuclear weapon.
Okay, let's read. President Donald Trump told senior aides late Tuesday that he approved of attack plans for Iran, but was holding off to see if Tehran would abandon its nuclear program, people familiar with the deliberations said. Iran's well-defended Fordo enrichment facility is a possible U.S. target. Israel has yet to attack the facility, which is buried under a mountain and is generally considered by military experts to be out of reach of all but the most powerful bombs. Asked earlier if he had decided whether to strike at Iran's nuclear facilities, Trump said, "I may do it, I may not do it." And he repeated his insistence of Iran's unconditional surrender. "The next week is going to be very big, maybe less than a week." Earlier, Iranian Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei said his country wouldn't surrender and warned any U.S. military intervention would bring irreparable consequences. The U.S. military has built up forces in the Middle East in recent days. A third U.S. Navy destroyer entered the eastern Mediterranean Sea, and a second U.S. carrier strike group is headed toward the Arabian Sea. While the Pentagon and military buildup is purely defensive, it better positions the U.S. should Trump decide to join Israeli attacks on Iran. It could also be a tactic to pressure Iran to capitulate or make concessions. Israel and Iran have continued to exchange fire, and the death toll in Iran rose above 450. According to a human rights group in Israel, 24 people have died as a result of Iranian strikes. So, we already are in this fight. We're in the fight. The fight has begun. You understand? Whether Donald Trump fucking admits it or not doesn't matter. The guy's a notorious, pathological fucking liar, and he dodges every goddamn question you could possibly ask him. So, don't trust this fat orange fucking loser. Meanwhile, you know what he's fucking doing? He's having meetings with the fucking
like tonight is totally. I've had friends, they heard about.
And Trump just headed to the war room, and I think that meeting literally just ended as I'm live recording this. I think Trump's meeting in the war room just fucking ended. Let me see. Trump posted on Truth Social, apparently. Let's see. Trump Truth. Let's see. Another goddamn video. All this fucking guy does is post videos. It's all videos, and he fucking put up this giant fucking American flag. He's great poll numbers for Trump. Trump. Like, what are we doing? What are we fucking doing, Donnie? Oh my God, get your fucking priorities set, Dementia Donnie. All right, so look at this. You're gonna love this. You're gonna love this, bro. Hold on.
What happens then? How many people live in Iran, by the way? I don't know the.
By the way, that is Ted Cruz admitting yesterday that we are actively committing strikes in Iran, and Trump completely avoided getting congressional approval to go to war. So we are at war. We are him too, bro. Israel is little Satan, and the U.S. is Satan. Brother, we have participated in more regime change in the past 250 years than the fucking Brits did in the past 600. We are so responsible for this. Are you out of your fucking mind? And here's the thing. I love America. I am proud to be an American. But loving one's nation and hating one's government can exist at the same time. I love this nation so much I want it to improve, not to maintain the fucking status quo. Meanwhile, people go, yeah, you're not a patriot. You're not a patriot if you don't support bombing Iran.
Could murder both of us right now that he would. I do. I believe him.
Okay, I assume no good faith on the part of the Ayatollah.
No, not
and
good
if your
faith.
implication is like, I'm pro-Ayatollah or something.
No, it's not good faith. It's that...
Just saying, you're a lawmaker. You're a powerful person in Washington. This is the most powerful country in the world. If you're calling for toppling in government, it's incumbent on...
Apparently, Trump posted on Truth Social again. I think he's on the toilet. This is what he does when he shits, bro. He just posts repeatedly. Another video, bro. Dude, he's taking a shit right now. The president of the United States is sitting on the fucking toilet taking a shit right now. And he's posting on his own private fucking app. Oh my God. And hell has frozen over because I agree with Tucker Carlson. And this interview's crazy, bro. There's a whole part where he calls out Ted Cruz on AIPAC, and it's crazy. This is just a little bit of it. Look at Trump's truth. Dude, what is he doing? He's shitting, and he just keeps on fucking posting while he's shitting. What? Nothing. Nothing.
Them, I don't know what they do. I can
But
tell
why
you.
don't you care? Isn't it meaningful if a foreign government?
Hey, I talk with Israel all the time. I
Of
talk
course
with,
you do.
with
Of course
foreign
you do.
countries all the time.
But the law is, and a lot of people have been prosecuted under this law, that if you are lobbying on behalf of foreign government, you must register. That's it. It's really simple. And I don't know why, if I'm working for Malaysia or Qatar or Belgium, and I'm working on behalf of its government's interests through a group of Americans who are representing the friendship between those two nations, I have to register under the Foreign Agent Registration Act, and if I don't, I can go to jail. And people have
But
gone to jail.
Israel doesn't have to fucking do that. Anyway, who gives a fuck? The rest of this is fucking stupid. I mean, Trump is literally striking Iran. So, listen, I got more videos that I'm probably gonna make because this is breaking news. So we'll get to it. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you're here live, stay. If you're here watching this pre-recorded, click that video over there. It's a banger, and I know bangers.